The first bank was closed in the 90s. The second bank was closed in the 90s. And subsequently, many other banks have closed. We have had these experts you are talking about. Why isn't there a single report? For 20-something, these experts you are talking about. No single report. And no final resolution of a closed bank, of any closed bank, for 20-something years.
Is a big fake.
How can you run, and Nafi knows this, what we call a liquidation process, or a winding up process for more than 20 years? The people who start have either left the bank, they have died, and so on. And you are telling me we should wait for experts. It is only COSACE that realized that there was a problem. And we are the one who instituted this probe by asking the Auditor General for the first time to go and look at this process. It is us for which we should be getting uploads and credit. The Auditor General has been there all this time, but he does not also have a single report on any closed bank.
This is the first one.
This is the first one. The Auditor General. So where are these experts you are talking about?
This is what I told you about. With no
I am
system.
just, you know, when I hear this, I feel like, is it because we are inferior? Eh? But a person like me who went to school, who is a professional and who takes my job seriously as a chairperson of an accountability committee, how can we let a process like this without looking into what is happening there? But most importantly, whenever you close the last 3 banks, we have been putting in public money. The last being Crane Bank, where we put in 478 billion. And you are waiting for the experts who have not done anything to look into this process. Thirdly, if you have been watching these proceedings, I think it has brought out the best of some of us vis-a-vis these so-called professionals. You will judge yourself if you have been following. And we took a deliberate decision as a committee that we shall conduct this process in the public. Then judge us whether we are short of the law, whether we are short of professionalism. Judge us. Nobody is, as of today, has said these guys are goofing here, there, and so on. And not that we will not goof. We may goof because goofing is normal. But where we goof, and we are reminded that you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the law, or you're offending the law, we shall correct our mistake. As of now, we've not. And yet you people are saying, these are big experts. We are not investigating monetary policy. Oscar, you talk about my general, or the General Takewa. He is a member of the UPDF. And when an issue arose about documents being stolen from what? From the bank. And because they were missing, we asked them, can you give us this? And they said they don't have. So do you not need an expert to say, can you give me this progressive report? And somebody who is supposed to have them is not giving them to you. Do you need an expert from IMF? Because if we got those documents, what do we do with them? That should be important. We get the documents, refer them to the experts. They help us interpret them. And that's what we do, that's what we will do. And I can tell you, I am happy with this process so far because we've not had a hit. So when this issue arose about security, that's when we set up a small subcommittee. And among ourselves, we said, who has some more knowledge on security? And we have a general. Say, General, can you handle this for us? That's how he chaired that subcommittee that eventually looked into the issue of security of documents of the bank. Can you imagine documents of the Bank of Uganda leaving the premises of the bank without authority? Can you imagine that? It's not a small matter. What document left? Because the entire economy of our country is later in the hands of the central bank. But if people are going to get documents of a central bank, move with them out, and some people said, no, we need experts. Oh, come on.
No.
Listen.
Yeah.
You see, I just want to get the facts clear. Nobody has a right to get government documents from the custody of government, except with authority.
And cleared.
Yes. And when we asked,
that is impunity.
they all feigned ignorance until we are reminded by a colleague who is a general that, by the way, that bank has got CCTV. So we have to go there and look at what happened that day.
The footage.
And when we went there, the people who carried the bags physically are the ones we were arresting. What would you have done if you're a chairperson? And these people, when we asked them, where did you take?
Impunity.
Then they said, no, we don't know what we took. Including one box which, on the CCTV, you could see there are file folders. It's because it was an open box. And somebody says, no, I don't know what I was carrying. I didn't look. An open box from the high floor down to the car. So the decision we took, actually, it doesn't even concern now the merits of those documents. But somebody lying on oath. Before you get to Virginia, because Virginia never carried the boxes. The boxes were carried by these two people, physically. And we saw them
on the CCTV.
On the CCTV. But most importantly, when we asked them when they left the airport, they said they drove straight to the bank. We asked, did you pass anywhere? They said no. Then the general told us that the fleet of the bank is monitored real time. So why don't we trace the monitoring system of that car? Then we saw the car moving up to somewhere in Kiswa. And it was there for 3.5 hours. Then the evening, at around 6, it ends up at Bank of Uganda. The people who were in that car were 3. It was the driver, it was the bodyguard, it was Mrs. Virgin. What would you have done? And you have these ones there. And we don't arrest, by the way. We refer the people we think there is a prima facie case to the police. And the police should be able to manage that process. You see, the mistake we make are people to imagine that we have powers of confinement, but for purposes of compelling the person we are confining to give us evidence and bring documents only. But these other processes, that's a police process. So, Mrs. Vagenda is out of the country. We expressed our disappointment from the beginning, and we issued out a formal summon. When we issued out the formal summon, she sent in lawyers saying, yeah, she was out of the country, she was attending a mental health workshop in Houston, and she would be coming. Yes, it was already planned. We said, okay.
Mental?
Yes, mental health. So we said, okay, we shout a summon, and we gave it the lawyer, and also served her electronically. She wrote back, she said she's adjusting to return. She sent me a copy of the ticket, and the day she will arrive, according to her statement, she's arriving tomorrow and should be in Parliament on Monday. So at that point, you don't need to issue warrants of arrest. We have the power, but let me tell you, if you have the power, please exercise it responsibly. If somebody says, I'm coming, he has sent you the ticket.
He's cooperating.
Yes.
Yeah, they say,
and she sent it on Thursday. In between, there was only one working day, which was Friday. Because the next working day will be Monday. Why should I issue an arrest warrant? Yes, because there is communication. And her lawyer is also in touch and responding. So I thought it would be unreasonable and over enthusiasm on part of Parliament to sign a warrant. I know the pressures were too much. No, I want to act judiciously, so that every decision we take, we can be able to explain it legally.
To use cruder language than threats, because some people might think this is a lynching. We have a public lynching of Bank of Uganda officials. You are saying this is not the case. You are acting carefully.
with
Dishes.
a lot of restraint, with a lot of respect for those people. Even when my colleagues I see they are getting a little bit agitated, I am please honourable members, be calm, because at the beginning it was a little bit hot. There are
Because
people.
this is Bank of Uganda.
Not that people
You don't
came
want to
with
bring the
with
economy
arrogance.
They were not used to
Accountability.
anything.
So I had to manage that process so that everybody calms down and knows that there's business, serious business to do. Having said that, I think even the bank team now realizes that they're in an atmosphere where
They
they
need
have
to
to answer
account. They
questions.
have to answer questions. Yeah.
And I'm balancing the act. You give them their due respect. One, they told us we are very reckless. They gave us confidential documents.
They are all over.
All of them, those they gave us, none has leaked. Themselves, these people, my brother Tremors is calling professionals. They write a confidential letter to me. Before it is delivered in my office, they have posted it on social media.
Social media.
So you know what goes on. It's not something which you need to be a
The
scientific
institution has been
engineer.
politicized.
Yeah. So really, we are acting more professional, more responsibly, and more than actually maybe the other team. Then, because I don't want to go into the merits of the probe for obvious purposes, at the end of the day, let us wait what we'll come up with, because that's the most important. Then you judge whether actually we fell short of what we are supposed to do. Lastly, what we are doing, is it in the law or not? We commissioned the audit. We can't commission an audit and get an audit and throw it to other people. What does the law say? The Auditor General reports to Parliament. Through the parliamentary committees, we examine the reports. And that's what we are doing. There is no law which says, no, now once the report, go and give it to an international organization. In any case, the issue arising, you don't need that international organization you are talking about. None. To account for what you did. You sold this property at this. Because we are not looking into why the banks were closed, whether the Bank of Uganda had the power or not. They have the power under the FIA. And we're not questioning that. How did they manage that power? The process. How did they manage the assets? Because we are putting in public money, real good public money. So can you imagine if another banker went under today and we are supposed to put in another 500 billion? And nobody is asking questions why. You as parliament, you never appropriated that money. So where did it come from?
They said it was from their voters, Bank of Uganda.
Before we stop for a break, I have Moses Biarahanga says Oscar UNRWA itself operates vessels on our waters. It cannot be a regulator of itself and others. I think we should have a body mandated to enforce laws on water transport.
That authority you talked about it.
Yes, that authority you talked about.
Let me think about it. I think it's right.
Godfrey Williams on Twitter says at Semoyam Soke at Capital FM Uganda, please ask Achilles that why do most boats in Uganda lack plimsoll lines who allow such big vessels to operate on water bodies? And that's Kasaga in South Korea. Wow.
Plimsoll. I thought Plimsoll.
Plimsoll line.
Plimsoll line.
Achilles Chanuka is out of the studio, but I guess he's still listening. But the answer, who allows such vessels, I guess no one knows.
Regulatory institutions.